Good morning. I'm Dirk Anderson. I'm the head of the Black Yaks business. A few minutes, short video, just to talk about container adoption within the industry and some of the primary challenges that we see that faces businesses and in particular, infrastructure technology teams. So I like to think about the challenge as three component parts. The first part of the challenge is just mastering a set of technologies that will be relatively new to some people. I think application development teams have become quite fluent in a lot of these emerging technologies and been operating those technologies in, sandbox dev, test environments for some time. I think for infrastructure teams that have been wrestling with their existing estate, maybe not had that headspace and that headroom. So there's a bit of a challenge to go and master a new set of technologies. If you look at the CNCF landscape, it's a large landscape, quite fluid in nature. Technologies come and go, and there will be some winners amongst the group, but choosing a set of technologies that are strategic and mastering those, I think that's eminently doable for a relatively small group of skilled, experienced people with the right industry background. I think the next challenge, which is a significant step up from that challenge, is how do you also automate, orchestrate, integrate those technologies and do so with some elegance so that you're able to provide self-service, which I think is a goal for most mid to large size businesses and some small businesses. But kind of doing that with elegance and preparing for doing it at scale as you transform the rest of the technology estate, I think that's definitely a step up. But arguably the biggest piece to overcome is how do you really prepare to operate these environments at real scale? And the reason why that challenge is probably more difficult to overcome is it requires a much larger community of people to get behind a common direction, a common set of tools, a set of processes and a way of working. That community will include infrastructure operations teams, engineering teams, enterprise and infrastructure architecture teams, CISO and InfoSec teams, DevOps teams, financial operations teams, as well as a leadership community within a business that has to get behind a program of change like that and really give it the support that it deserves. You also require some influencers within the business across technology and lines of business that are prepared to stick with the journey, that other people will recognise, respect. They have a voice within the business that will be able to win hearts and minds and carry the rest of the community along the way. But I think the way to solve the operational challenge is to break it down to its component parts also. So take a subset of business services, applications and infrastructure technology stacks, modernise those, do a really good job of that, and in doing so build the operational playbooks that become the blueprint for how you're going to manage those services going forward through the life cycle and your request fulfillment all the way through to decommission, including all the associated maintenance activities that are required. So doing that really well and building the blueprints and then making sure that the rest of the services and applications that as they get modernised and converted or transitioned or migrated, adhere to those blueprints that you've made some investment in. So large area of our focus is kind of helping with the first two parts of the challenge and doing that pretty rapidly, but also helping businesses start to bridge that gap that exists around the bigger operational challenge. So, if any of that makes sense, resonates, please feel free to get in touch and we can have a more detailed discussion. I think some contact details will be left at the end of the video. Thanks for listening.